Is Alastair Cook, England's opening batsman and former captain, is he a worried man? He has not contributed with the bat in the first 2 test matches in Brisbane and in Adelaide. He has not passed 50 in his last 8 test innings. He's 32 years of age. He's in the autumn of his career. And England need runs from the bat of Alastair Cook. Now we're going to look at his technique. Far be it for me, with my batting technique, to look at Alastair Cook, but I've turned to 2 former England captains and top order batsmen, great players in their own day, who have looked at Alastair Cook. Nasser Hussain, the former captain, with a tremendous record, 96 test matches, 14 test centuries, a highest score of 207 against Australia. Now Nasser Hussain points to the fact that when Alastair Cook is out of nick, when he's out of form, his head tends to fall to one side. He tends to fall over. It's a trait that happens with a lot of batsmen, especially to the left-handers, because of the predominance of right-arm quicks across the bat. So Nasser Hussain talks about Alastair Cook's head going to the one side. And when that does go to the offside, and being a tall opener, it then brings the LBW very much into play, especially if the feet aren't moving, and Alastair Cook's feet, according to Nasser Hussain, are not moving as well as they should. Hussain reckons that he should have been out to Hazlewood LBW before he was out LBW to Nathan Lyon. And also Nasser speaks about the Australians using the occasional short ball, the bouncer, not just to unsettle Alastair Cook, but to keep him pinned onto the back foot. He said that Mitchell Johnson did it in the previous Ashes series, and of course Josh Hazlewood is doing it in this series. And what happens here, and it happened at the Gabba, that keeps Cook pinned back in his crease, and maybe it's in his mind that the short ball is coming and he's staying back. Then Nasser talks about Nathan Lyon. Why is Nathan Lyon getting Alastair Cook out? Why is he getting him out? He got him twice in the match in Adelaide. He got him caught at slip in that second innings. Because Cook has a great record against spin. He's got bags of mental strength, but at the moment he's not providing the runs. Nasser Hussain asks, how many times can you go to the well and bring up the pail of water? How many times can Alastair Cook go onto his resources and bring up the runs? The questions are now being asked. Which brings me now on to Mark Butcher, 71 tests, and again a left-handed bat, 8 centuries, his highest, 173 not out against the Australians at Leeds in 2001. Now just to take it on from what Nasser Hussain was saying, Mark Butcher is saying that he's staying back in the crease, Alastair Cook, and he's not getting forward with his feet. It's his hands that are pushing at the ball. His weight isn't going forward, his momentum is not going forward, it's his hands that are pushing at the ball, and that is really causing Cook his problems at the moment. He's staying back, the momentum's not coming forward, and it's a very fine line between getting that right, getting it in sync. When you look at Alastair Cook's numbers, only 8 players in history have made more than his 11,691 test runs. Only 10 have more centuries than his 31 test centuries. So he's got the credentials. But Alastair Cook, if there is a chink in his armour, it's about a technique that is not perfect. Steve James, former England opener and now cricket writer for The Times, points to the fact that if one component of this technique is not in sync, then Alastair Cook has problems. But he always finds a way to get some runs, and England will be looking for that in Perth. We look at Alastair Cook's career and you can see how there's been a decline in his numbers. The biggest takeaway is that Cook's away average has dropped from 54.54 in the first phase of his career until 2012 with 13 centuries to 36.43 in the second phase of his career since January 2013 with only 4 centuries. And in that time, his average has dropped from 49 to 41. So that is why England supporters and the England team are scratching their heads. They want to see those numbers coming back into an upward curve. They want to see this prolific opening batsman getting back into the groove for England. Once he fires, and if he does fire in Perth, then England will have a different attitude to the way that they start their innings and build for runs for a target for Australia. But England need Cook.